absolutely driving you crazy?
All right.
Let's see.
That's Martin.
Oh, no.
You had a
I
question.
had the right answer last week, but then you said social media, so.
Or marketing, it doesn't matter.
I haven't mastered my videos, my live videos.
Okay, cool, sweet. All right. After this, let's do a 20-second video together.
I need help.
Well, I will help you.
What's the next step past like boosting, like an ad or a post? Like what would be the next driving step I would take?
Okay, so one of the most common things that probably 95% of agents do is boosting ads on social media. It is probably the easiest way to quickly get your ad out there. The downside of it is that you cannot really get you can't really get very specific with your ad, meaning that when you create a Facebook post, you can post up an image, a flyer, and all that fun jazz, and then you just kind of just hit that boost button, put 20 bucks in, and then it goes out to whatever area you want it to target, right? And it's very broad. So the next step that I highly recommend that you do is actually getting familiar with Facebook's ad manager. All right. Somebody came to me and said, "Hey, Yuli, exactly how difficult is it to use Facebook Ads Manager?" It's actually getting a lot more simpler. Who here is familiar with Facebook Ads Manager? Who's experimented with it? Okay, so less than 50%. All right. That just goes to show that my statistics are somewhat right. That most agents are not really practicing advertising on the Facebook Ads Manager platform itself. It's recently gotten updated, so for those of you who have played with it, you guys might have already seen that it's looking different now. It's getting more simplified. It's becoming more user-friendly because it is really, honestly, where you can really get hyper-local in your targeted audience. See, everyone says, "I'm going to work with everyone." That's not true. You're not going to work with everyone. Not every client's for every agent. Not every agent's for every client. Plain and simple. All right? You got to build a team to be able to deal with all the demographics, all the ethnicities, all the different language barriers, and all that fun jazz. I'm just completely being truthful about all this, all right? I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not saying nothing. It's just literally is what it is, okay? So with Facebook Ads Manager, it makes things much simpler because you can target people specifically via zip codes. You can target them via their income, not numbers, but by percentages. So the way that they HUD complain that you can really target people based on their type of income. Meaning before you could target folks that were making over 250K or if they were making below 50K. Like they had it that dialed in. Now you can target folks in their top 10% income in that area. See, it doesn't give you the overall number of what they're making, but it still knows that based out of the 1,500 people that you're trying to target in this demographic area, you want to target the top 50% income producers in that area, right? Like you can get that hyper-focused when it comes to your advertising. You got a house in El Dorado Hills. We all know that the price on that is going to be, a lot of good cheese, right? That doesn't mean that everyone can afford that. So you have to be extremely strategic. Where would people like that work? Like, throw some ideas. $800,000 home in El Dorado Hills. Who do you think could afford that?
Intel.
Intel. All right. So Intel employees. All right. Cool. So Intel as an employer. Who else? What about Bay Area? Like Bay Area buyers. Right. I mean, they're getting smart. They know that their $3 million investment over there, if they get rid of it, they come over here. Now they just found themselves buying maybe 7 properties throughout Roseville, Dorado Hills, Granite Bay type of area. We all know that. Targeting those individuals is extremely important too. So for instance, I got a $500,000 listing in Rancho Cordova, and I'm targeting Sacramento, and I'm targeting the Bay Area, both at the same time, all right? Some of you guys might have seen it. I uploaded the 360 photos. I really want people to see. I got over 2,000 engagements on that one post, and I only spent 50 bucks in my ad.
What's engagement mean?
Engagements means people that actually interacted with the post. Cool. The 360 photos were absolutely outstanding when it came to the engagement. It's the #1 thing that people were like completely fascinated by. But going back to the ad, okay, I targeted with that ad, I targeted the Bay Area. I went after Facebook, I went after attorneys, lawyers, and all that. And basically, I put in all these different employers. And then I target them to be the top 30% of income producers for that. So the top 30% of income, like the highest income for those people that work in those areas. That's exactly who I targeted. And out of that, I got a tremendous amount of engagement. But here's the craziest part. Guess who I got the most amount of engagement from? Who do you think, women or men? Women. 75% of the 2,000 pieces of engagement that I got, 75% of it was women. Let that sink in, because honestly, I'm not surprised. Women are fascinated by, like, you know, architecture, you know, the fanciness of things, the design and all that. And guess what? The 360 photos gave them just that. They were able to go into this $500,000 house. It's in Rancho Cordova. It was built in 2008, so it's still very updated, very new. The homeowners did a really good job in the way that they decorated and staged the house. So literally you can look at the photos and have a full-blown experience and look at everything, the living room, the kitchen, the master bedrooms, all that fun.
Ulysses, for people that do not know how to do a 360 photo, can you maybe explain that real fast?
Okay, so 360 photos are very easy to do. 360 photos, there's tons of different devices out there. You've got Samsung 360 cameras. You've got devices that plug into the top of your phone. If you literally just look up or Google 360 cameras or 360 photo cameras, you'll see your options are anywhere from $50 on Amazon to thousands of dollars. It all depends on what you're trying to do. You want to do a 360 4K resolution movie, you've got cameras for that. You just want to simply take still photos, you got that too. Doesn't mean that you can use 360 photos on MLS yet. Yet. Okay? I know a couple of people that work on the architecture and they're experimenting with it because our phones are capable of taking 360 photos. What we call panoramic photos, you actually can upload into Facebook, and you'll notice that your panoramic photo is no longer stretched out long ways.
I think that's a good point too, because a lot of people don't realize that when they're taking that picture, because it looks that way on their phone, but when they actually put it on Facebook, it turns to a 360.
Correct. It turns into a 360 to basically where the experience becomes more and more and more. That's 360 photos. Going back to your advertising, I don't want to get off point on that one. The biggest key thing is you need to learn how to use Facebook Ads Manager, because I would have never been able to achieve the goals and the target that I got if it wasn't for actually going into the actual Facebook Ads Manager and building out my audience piece by piece, okay? Literally, I'm going to tell you the same thing that I told my client. All it takes is 1 weekend. All it takes is 1 weekend, 4 hours. Go on YouTube and look up, how do you use Facebook Ads Manager? There are hundreds of tutorials on there, specifically with the newest changes, where you can literally learn how everything on Facebook Ads Manager works. You don't have to be a professional, you just have to understand how it works. Once you understand how it works, guess what? You know how to create an ad. You start tweaking, you start playing with it. Yes?
I thought they were changing that to where it was something like we couldn't like target, like, you know, like it was ethical or something. Are they changing that?
No, so what it is,
it's suing Facebook right now.
Yeah.
Huh?
HUD is suing Facebook.
Oh yeah, no, I completely understand that, but just because they're suing them doesn't mean that you can't use it.
Oh.
I'm just, like, seriously, it's still there.
So they haven't took it out, that's what I.
No, and they're not going to. They're just changing the verbiage. That's it. Like I said, instead of targeting, okay, I want to target people that work, that their income is between 25 and 75,000. See, that's being very specific, right? That you can look at someone and give them a value of number. And that to some people, that's either A, embarrassing for them if they're like, oh man, you know, like, I don't want people to know that I make under 50 grand, right? Versus, you know, hey, you know what? I'm going to target all the rich and the famous, and I'm just going to target the top 5%, right? Before it used to be people that made over $500,000. And you can be very specific and just sell your products or pitch them everything, right? Because you know they're the people with the money. Instead, now, they're just simply changing it into, you want to target the top 10%. You don't know what that number is. You just know that based on, if you're the richest man in the world and I'm the poorest man in the world, there's a threshold there now. There's a percentage of everyone in between. That's it. That's all HUD is going to be. That's what Facebook and HUD are basically agreeing on. Because the advertising that they're doing is no different than, if you really think about it, BET, TBS, USA, and all that. You go on that, you can tell the difference in commercials. You can tell who they were designed for and who they're tailored for. When you go to BET, Black Entertainment, channel, right? You go on there, what are you going to see, right? Versus you go to CNN, you go to USA, TBS, you can tell what the commercials are for, who they're tailored for. Facebook advertising, Twitter advertising, Snapchat, Spotify, Pandora, all the advertising, you guys can notice who it's tailored for. And it's tailored to you guys. Why? Because you guys agreed to the terms and conditions when you first signed up on your phone, and by doing so, you're allowing it to captivate information on you based on your interests, your likes, your behaviors, the demographics, where you go shopping and all that. I'm pretty sure all of you have experienced this, where your phone asks you for feedback because you just checked into this, you went to this movie, all that other fun jazz.
How can you check out of that?
Okay, here's the simplest answer.
I love it, Sue.
A long time ago, society decided that it was okay to get something for free in exchange for you dealing with a little bit of advertising. It's plain and simple. You want Facebook? Facebook comes with consequences in a sense, right? It depends how you look at it. You want it for free or do you want to pay for it? If you pay for something without zero ads, you guys have seen where there's apps out there that it's free, or you can pay $4.99 for the year and zero ads. $4.99 for the year. Some people are not willing to pay the $5 for zero ads. They'd rather deal with the free and deal with the little bit of ads and then complain about it later. It's really that simple. Yes?
I wanted to ask you, is there a time and a day when you should be boosting your ads to get the most views or likes? Or
Okay, so when it comes to advertising, it doesn't matter. It's whenever you run your campaign. Now, you can be extremely strategic with your advertising now. You can actually select or set a runtime when you wanted to actually display your ad. So for instance, I was strategic one time of, there was an event for one of my friends in San Francisco. He wanted to get as many eyeballs on his event as possible. So this is what I did. I knew that there was going to be a big event happening, a concert at the Levi Stadium, right? So what I ended up doing was I created an ad. I targeted the area of where the Levi Stadium was going to be at. I knew that there was going to be tons of people there, and I knew that it was going to be happening anywhere between 10 a.m. and basically 10 p.m. So that's the time I ran the ad for in that specific zip code where Levi Stadium was, and guess what? There was a lot of eyeballs that were there during that time frame, right? Like, you can literally be that strategic on your that. So if you are having an open house event on the day that there is a concert happening at Golden One Stadium, you can be very strategic of targeting that specific area where Golden One's at. Why? Because there's going to be a lot of people that their GPS location is going to be on their phone, and when they're in that area and there's advertising being driven to that demographic, guess what? You're bidding on that location, so thereby, that's where your audience is going to be at to be able to lure them from whatever it is you want them to see. It's really that simple. It's not difficult. When you get that, hey, for $399 a month, I can do this for you and everything like that, this is exactly what they're doing for you. And half of you probably don't even know what you're paying for. Like, it's like, that's what marketing agencies do. They'll take your money, they say it's proprietary, that they're unique, and that everyone is unique, and it's not. A marketing agency is not self-sustainable by making everyone unique. And if they are, they're charging you maybe about $5,000 to $8,000. Like, and that's where you guys have probably heard some of those. Like, oh, what about those marketing agencies that do charge a premium? Well, that's to be unique, that you pay a premium. If you are literally trying to get started, getting used to this, there's no reason why you should be spending more than $300 a month. And that $300 should be you running your own ads, getting used to the platform. Once you understand how it works, then go pay someone, because now they can't cheat you. Now you know how it works. Now you know what you're paying for. And if you're not getting the results, there is no excuses from them, because you know how it's supposed to run, how it's supposed to work. Now, I will tell you this, it's starting to get a little bit more expensive. I've been saying it for some time now. Big companies are moving in. Big companies are moving in, they're dropping their budgets, we're going through that little market correction. Tech companies are taking a hit, you're seeing it everywhere, left and right. And big companies are moving in and they are spending a lot of money on social media. What I used to spend $25 to, basically let me put it to you this way. Last year, I spent $25 on this ad that this year I spent 50 on. So it's increasing. Now $50 is still not a lot. For the results that I got, totally worth it. But the difference is starting to show. What is it gonna look like 5 years from now? Who knows? It could be 100, it could be 200, it could be 500 to run the exact same ad that I just ran last week. But my biggest advice is take advantage of it now, because you'll beat yourself up later. Right now, it's when it's underpriced. See, 10 years ago, we weren't doing this, we weren't talking about this. And the only advertising that we would talk about would be what? Mail dropping, postcards, magazines. Everybody wants to get you on Google AdWords pay-per-click, or you have to get on, you have to pay for Yelp, to be able to land on top. That's what 10 years ago looked like. Marketing is just expensive. Billboard ads expensive. TV commercials expensive. Radio is expensive. Social media advertising wasn't. People didn't even know about it. They're what is this? Does it even work? I don't see how it works. See, TV, radio, that's where everybody's at. Not anymore. It's shifted. So the biggest advice I can give you is take advantage while it's still hugely underpriced. Even though it's gone up since last year, it's still hugely underpriced. I don't know of any other platform out there where you can make as much impact with your business with proper marketing than any other platform out there. I mean, billboards are still expensive. They still want about $800 or some change if you want to run one billboard ad a few times a day for the whole year. I mean, what type of impact does that really help you? A couple of days it's just going to show up on a billboard on a rotating basis. I mean, like, you have no control over that. While on Facebook, you run an ad, guess what? People can stop, they can explore, they can comment, they're all depending on how properly you do your ad. So that's the strategy number 2, is the quality of your advertising. All of you can go right now and create a boost and all that, but a lot of you probably don't realize it's very easy to just upload an open house flyer on Facebook, hit that boost button, and expect to get results. Guess what? If your image, because that's when you upload a flyer, it's an image, right? If your image contains more than 25% text, it gets, what's the word? It gets demoted. Gets demoted. And flagged sometimes. It gets demoted, meaning that the reach won't be as good. Even though you're paying, it won't be as good. Sometimes you'll even get a warning. You'll get a little triangle, little flag that says, hey, too much text in your image could be construed as spam, or basically spam. That it could be construed as spam, right? Propaganda of some sort, instead of value. Your posts have to create value. Hence why I did the 360 photos. Everyone can take photos, but those photos are still images. They're very static. You look at them, that's it. That's all there is to it. There's no more exploring. It's what you see on that photo is what you get. While 360 photos created an interactive experience. Every single one of those photos. You click on it, people can pan, can look up, can zoom in. They might not even be interested in the house. It's the fact that the technology is so cool right now that people are not used to all of a sudden seeing 360 photos pop up, and they're just like, oh, wow, okay. That's what you're going after. If people are saying, wow, this is weird, you won. Because that's creativity. Success has a formula in any industry, okay? And one of the steps in being successful is being creative, right? Not doing something too familiar, but not doing something too new, somewhere in between. Using Facebook with 360 photos, the platform's already familiar, the 360 photos are brand new. You combine that together in a basically friendly field, right? Where everyone feels safe, Facebook, right? Because they can go in there, be themselves. And now they're exploring and trying out new things by exploring a house in 360. without having to go walk into it
Ulysses,
and making their decision. Yes, sir.
what percentage of people are looking on their mobile devices when you had those 2,000 interactions?
Guess how many of them were desktop? Just desktop, like laptop or computer. Guess out of the 2,000.
10%.
Yeah, percentage or number?
It was probably about out of the 2,000. Okay, so I reached a total of 8,600 people. Out of the 8,600 people, I got about 2,100 and some change interactions. Out of those 2,100 and some change interactions, 98.7% was all mobile.
Yep, I believe it.
All mobile. Mobile.
That's why.
98.7%, if I remember correctly, the analytics afterwards was all mobile.
That's why the Levi Stadium ad worked, because everybody was sitting there on their mobile
Exactly.
phone.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No. Oh, and that's the crazy part about Levi's. Levi's launched a virtual reality store a while back, and that might be the reason what you might be talking about. I don't know. Levi's launched a virtual reality store that when you use your phone, you can go in through it, and the same technology that uses the 360 photo is the exact same thing that you're doing to pan through the store and take steps forward by scrolling with your thumb, going to a clothes rack, and then you see these little things pop up, and it's like, oh, that shirt. You click on it, brings up the shirt, now you can see it. The next step after that is trying the clothes on,
Wow.
which already happens. How? You guys are all familiar with it. Filters. If anyone, I mean, I'm pretty sure who has not experienced like Snapchat filters or any type of filter?
Sue Wilson.
Who hasn't?
So,
Ted
Then
Olson
here's
does.
the crazy part about all that. You guys see how it already scans your face, right? And it tries to fit the filter to your face. Now it's your body. It scans your body, and now it knows how to fit the shirt to your body, so you can see what it looks like when
You
you're
guys
trying it
are
on.
trouble.
So no more trying on faces
Right.
back. What does that mean for real estate, though? What does that mean? For real estate, it means everything. Now people are going to be able to see 360 houses, right? They're going to be able to walk it, and mark my words, it's going to start happening. You're going to be able to walk into a real estate, a house that's vacant, okay? And you're going to be able to also take that same technology, if you're walking your buyers through it, and they can start furnishing it all. 5 minutes? All right, cool. They can start furnishing it all just by looking at it and being like, okay, I'm going to go here. It's like, well, let me drop this couch. What would it look like? Oh, cool, great. I like that. They're going to be able to start doing that. I mean, as it is, there are already photographers that do that do virtual staging for you. You send them your photo, they do that. Now, augmented reality will allow you to do that as well. You'll be able to do that if you have a house that is vacant, no furnishment, and you yourself will be able to stage it.
totally cool.
And you'll be able to upload what? Into social media, market those out. So guess what it does? It makes the quality of your advertising that much better.
So we have 5 minutes left. Do we want to do a couple questions? Or?
Yes, go for it. Questions. Yes, sir.
Thursday. I wasn't here earlier, so I'm sorry. Are you still going to be doing that?
Oh, yes, I am.
Yes,
Okay, so-
actually, I was actually bringing you back,
Yeah.
so after we talk about the 2 classes you're doing.
So
coming
I
up.
am doing 5 classes
Oh, 5,
at
just
SAR,
kidding.
and it's the first one starts this
No one.
Thursday. It is called Branding Yourself 101. I'm going to go in depth on what it takes to brand yourself, to create a valuable name, a persona, whether if you're a team, a broker, or any of that. I'll be talking about branding and basically the biggest nuggets that you need to advertise. The cost for it is $15 if you're a member. $25 if you're not a member of SAR. There are going to be 5 classes that I'll be teaching over starting May. So this Thursday is the first one. May 16th, May 23rd, every Thursday all the way up until June 6th.
Cool.
And then the last class that I'm teaching is 6 hours long, and I'm going to talk about every single advertising platform, social marketing platform. So I'll be talking about advertising on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Waze, Spotify, and Pandora. Yeah. Still figuring out the Pandora one because that one's tricky.
Professional photos and this 360 and Facebook,
Yes.
I mean, I have a little disconnect. Like, how do I, use the professional photos, but then I want to use the 360? That's going to look really kind of more, if I'm doing it, it's not going to be very professional.
Okay, so 360 photos, I highly recommend. Well, 360 photos are, you can put them on a tripod and you can put it on a timer, walk out, take the photo, walk back in, and that's it, you're done. As far as professional photos, I get what you're going with that. If you use a professional photographer right now for your MLS photos, continue doing that. But here, I challenge you this, because it will become a thing. I challenge you to contact your professional photographer and ask them, hey, do you do 360 photos now? And if not, you probably should. Because honestly, I don't see why 360 photos should have been something real estate adopted a long time ago. We should have been the first, not like me talking to you guys about it while it's already been existing for the last 3 years. So I highly encourage you. Now, 360 photos are not uploadable into MLS, but they're uploadable almost into any other social platform.
Exactly.
Because they work. They do. Yes?
Do you give private classes?
I do. I have two solutions. My M3 solution, which is by the hour, and my M4 solution, which is monthly. What M3 stands for is Marketing Mastermind Mapping, and M4 is Monthly Marketing Mastermind Mapping. Yes?
And with that, I met with Ulysses. I'm very interested in everything he's talking about, and I want you to bring to the group one of the most basic but important points that you left me with, and that is, and I'll just say it and then you can rephrase it.
Absolutely.
And that is that this needs you. You can't hire automated systems, bots, and people to do it. The integration is with you. It's about your advertising, it's about your marketing, it's about your success. It needs you. So you need to take charge of this, just like he was saying earlier, and get involved and understand it and get it going, because it's always going to need a percentage of you. If anybody has tried to hire somebody to do all their Facebook for them, they realize they can't do that. It's not you. You've got to be the face and the front. So it's always going to need a piece of you.
Yep, transparency is key. I can't stress that enough. Transparency is key, and audiences are extremely smart about that now. They can tell the difference whether if it's you or if it's not. And so you can hire someone to post for you. You can hire someone to help you record videos and all that. That's fine. The production of it, you can definitely leverage out or outsource. But when it comes to the commenting, when it comes to the organic stuff, when it comes to in the moment, it has to be you, not someone else. Because at the end of the day, they're trying to build relationships with you. You're trying to build relationships with your audience. And then when you're doing it right and properly, they convert from online to offline. They do.
Perfect.
I promise you they do when you're doing it properly. You can't go Facebook Live once and quit and expect. This takes time. Just like becoming successful takes time. Consistency is key, okay? Creativeness is extremely huge when it comes to this. Yes?
For those that are not so savvy with that, are we hiring you to do it? Yeah.
No, unfortunately, I've tried doing the fulfillment side of things, and I'm a one-man team, so it's really difficult. Unless you guys know of a VC that can help me build a marketing agency for you guys, great. But then again, I'm being completely honest. When it comes to marketing agencies, it's a race to the bottom. It's whoever can do it the cheapest, and then with who does it the cheapest, you lose quality. So in reality, the biggest quality and the best quality you're gonna get is from yourself. Because it's going to be your ideas, it's going to be your creative input, and then just hire a freelancer. Hire a freelancer for a few hours a week. There's Upwork if you want to use somebody from overseas for $6 an hour just to kind of do some of the mundane, redundant, tiny little things. But when it comes to the creative input, you have to make sure that you are the driver of that all the way through.
I just took a class, and it was wonderful on video, doing videos, and they gave me a 2-page punch list so I have homework. Every day from now I have an agenda, and so I just need to learn how to.
The best thing, when people ask me, well, how can I get started? When people ask me how can I get started with video, honestly, the simplest thing is Facebook stories and Instagram stories. Why? It has a timer, meaning that you can only record up to 20 seconds on Facebook or 15 seconds on Instagram. All you have to, well, what am I going to record? If you got nothing to say, the documentation of your day works. Why? Because that's really what's going to convert folks when they see your grind, when they see your hustle. See, you can sit there and talk all day long that you're the best, but when you're actually physically showing that you're the best, that you're out in showing a house, you're at an open house, you're at a signing and all that, guess what? People are seeing you in action. while you are, hey, I want to congratulate the Joneses. Hey, I'm over here at 123 Main Street, come check me out. Hey, we're showing some properties right now with, Mr. and Mrs. Snow, and what do you guys think of this property? You go to the next one, what do you guys think of this one? And then at the end, so out of the 3 properties I just posted right now, which one do you guys think are the best? 1, 2, and 3. Even though the answer might not even go to the buyers, you're using it as content. People are engaging. People are like, holy crap, number 2 was awesome. They should go with number 2. They won't go with number 2. They're going to go with whatever they want. But you use it as content that you are actually caring about your audience's opinion. You're showing them that you are a subject matter expert, that you're actually out there doing the grind. And guess what? I'm ready to buy a house. I'm ready to invest. I'm ready to sell. Well, I'm going to go to the people that are the most productive, the people that are actually doing the job, versus the people that are constantly just sitting there, hey, do you guys know anybody that wants to buy, sell, or invest in real estate? I'm sorry, but that script's already been overplayed.
Last question.
Okay.
So you target millennials, different ages?
All of them. You just got to know what they're thinking, so that way you know how to
So
talk.
specifically, so you target different ages with different Instagram or Facebook, or do you all of them?
I do all of them. Because if you guys notice, all the platforms have certain demographics. And when I mean demographics, it's cultures. Right? You go to LinkedIn, what's LinkedIn? B2B, business to business, all the way around. But doctors still need houses, lawyers still need houses, right? General managers at JCPenney need houses. So, that's why on LinkedIn, you have to have a certain type of approach. When you're on Facebook, Facebook's more community. It's more family oriented. On Twitter, it's all noise, so you just push out noise. LinkedIn, it's more of a business approach, right? Are you looking to level up your life, your home, with your new career? That's how you would go on LinkedIn, right? Because it's more career-based. While on Facebook is, get your fur babies the backyard they deserve.
Ulysses, will you be around to answer some questions?
I will be here afterwards to answer some questions.
Okay.
So without
Great.
further ado, that's it.
Thank you.
I do not, but you can find me on Facebook.
So much great information. So yes, you guys have some additional questions. Robert, I know you had one. He'll stick around so we can answer. That being said, let's bring up this month's coffee and breakfast sponsor, Miss Lisa Massey. And I would like to point out one thing about Lisa, not to, put her against anybody else. The breakfast that she's brought has been amazing, between the fruit and the burritos and her spread. So I just want to give her a round.
Good morning, everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure being here on these past 4 Tuesdays. Just a little recap. Disclosure Save NHD is CoreLogic. So for page 2, number 7 of your RPA drop down, you can click CoreLogic Disclosure Save. So you can save it to your templates. And I am a zip form trainer. So again, if you need help creating shortcuts and templates, meet with me. I will save you a lot of time. And then my rental, so if you are working with investors and you want to do background check screenings for renters, you can reach out to me on my rental. And then eProperty Watch is another platform that you can actually sign your clients up for, and then it'll give them real accurate, real-time values of their property. And then also, it's a great keep in touch feature for you, so that way you're remembered for years to come, so they don't forget about you. And then lastly, stress on your NHD, go grab a stress ball over to the right. Okay? And remember, CoreLogic, Disclosure Save NHD on your next transaction.
And Lisa, you do classes for zip training, correct?
Yes. Yep.
You offer that
covered
too?
that a little bit. So if you need help, I do classes for brokers and also one-on-one. So
Great. So what do we raffle off today here, Lisa?
So we have Pete's coffee card and then $25 off your NHD report. If you're not an agent, you can gift it to one of your favorite ones.
All right. Draw.
Done again. Let's see. Paula.